the question is, who's next for Ilia Topuria? So, what do we got? The possible fights that we have for Ilia Topuria: Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, and Paddy Pimblett. Now, there's reasons why it can't be Arman. Okay, so if you see right here, the last time he fought was April 13th of last year. That's over a year ago. Over a year ago, and it was against Charles Oliveira, who is scheduled for his third fight since then, against Rafael Fiziev. And the fight before that was for the title against Ilia Topuria, and he lost. So Ilia getting the title off of Oliveira kind of makes it hard for you to argue that Arman should get that title shot with the same win, in a split decision win, nonetheless, over Oliveira. And it's been a year. Look, I get it. He was matched up to fight Islam Makhachev, and he pulled out of that fight. That was January 18th. Okay, so that was a few months ago. There's more than enough time for him to fight another contender. He could have, in that time, he could have fought Justin Gaethje. He could have fought Paddy Pimblett. He could have fought down the rankings, Dan Hooker. He could have got a rematch with Mateusz Gamrot. Actually, who the fuck was Gamrot fighting? His last fight was May 31st. Okay, so maybe he couldn't have fought Gamrot. But still, there are contenders that he could have fought. And you can argue that, I mean, like, no, you can't argue. Look, it's been, Oliveira's had 3 fights since then. So you can't argue that there are no matches to be made. Arman could have had a match in that time. So, and also Dana White said twice on 2 occasions that Arman's not getting the fucking title shot. So we're going to have to figure out who else can get this title shot. Justin Gaethje, can he, off of a win over Rafael Fiziev, who was, I believe, was number 11 at the time, and I think he's number 10 right now, coming off a win against Bahamundes? Is that correct? Let me check that. Yeah, Bahamundes. Does Gaethje deserve a title shot off of a win over Rafael Fiziev? I don't think so. No, I don't think that warrants a title shot, because if we look at the fight history, what happened just before that victory? And it's a short notice fight too. I believe Fiziev had what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks notice before he fought Justin? I don't know, dude. I don't think so. And you got knocked out the fight before. But here's the thing. There's a precedence for that, because if we look down just one more, if I can get this right. Look, who did Justin just fight before Max Holloway? He beat Poirier, who fought for the title. Let's view this history. Boom, right there. He fought for the title. Coming off of 1 win and just getting knocked out the fight before. But he's not the only one in that position. Another dude fought for the title coming off of a loss. Fight history. Let's look at this. So he fought for the title and he lost that. But before he got that title, he got a win against Michael Chandler. I'll be honest, that win does not mean much to me. Michael Chandler's only beat Tony and Hooker. And I think if he fought Dan Hooker again, I think Dan might beat him. And Tony was looking good in that fight too. He was fucking Chandler up. Like, people forget. Hey, people forget, man. People forget, man. Yeah, Tony was fucking Chandler up until he threw that fucking front kick that we've never seen him throw in his career before. And he knocked him out cold. Sad to see. But yeah, look, there's a precedence. He lost 1 fight. He won a fight, and then he fought for the title. Same thing here. Boom, Justin. So, he can argue. We've seen it twice already. And like, can we really say, no, you don't deserve it? Like, we can, yeah. In a meritocracy, we can say, Justin, you do not deserve this title fight. But he has the ability to argue that he deserves it, because we've given it to 2 undeserving fighters before. Not even that long ago. This is recent history. And then we have Paddy Pimblett, who fucking Joe Rogan threw a fucking Hail Mary pass to when Ilia Topuria won his title off of Charles Oliveira. And he's talking about, there's some dude who's like lying about his hurt back. And then Joe was like, oh, you're talking about Paddy Pimblett. Hey, get Paddy Pimblett the fuck in here. Let's get these guys talking. Let's get this fight made. Joe, he's got a wealth of fucking knowledge. But let's be honest, Joe Rogan doesn't follow the sport anymore. So he throws Paddy Pimblett this fucking layup. He gives him this layup. He gives him this fucking Hail Mary pass, and Paddy's in the fucking title conversation. Okay, he's undefeated in the UFC. I believe he's 8-0 in the UFC. And he's coming off a win against Chandler, which I had previously said doesn't fucking mean much to me. I don't rate that as a good win. Actually, let me rephrase that. I don't rate that as a special win, a standout win. It was a good win. I'm not gonna lie. Like he dominated Chandler, and he got him out of there faster than any of the other guys who fought Chandler. So it was a good showing. It was a good win, good fight. But I think he needs to fight again. Who can he fight? Fuck it, he can fight Dan Hooker. He can fight Arman. He can fight Justin. These guys all have to fight one more time to earn a title shot. But let's be real here. We're probably going to see Justin Gaethje fight for the title. Why do I think Justin Gaethje is going to fight for the title? Because there's a precedent. We've seen it happen before. But this guy has an ace up his sleeve that the other motherfuckers don't have. He has Ali Abdelaziz. He has a prime time manager. Whatever Ali wants, he gets. That's why Justin has Ali as his fucking manager, because Ali can make shit happen. So we are probably going to see Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria sometime later this year. Now, if you follow me on TikTok, I talked about like the matchmaking of the lightweight division, because at the time I made that video, not a single ranked lightweight fighter had a fight booked. And I didn't like that. So I decided, hey, this is free content. I made a fucking matchup. And so far, not a single one of my matchups have come to fruition. And I am questioning who the fuck is making these matchups, because we've got Charles Oliveira ready to fight Rafael Fiziev. Now, this fight doesn't make sense to me at all. And I'll tell you why it doesn't make sense. Because it's happening October 11th. Like, little under 4 months before that, Charles got knocked the fuck out. Bad. I think the worst he's ever been knocked out in his entire career. This is such a quick turnaround. It doesn't make sense. And I think, this is my theory, I think this is a retirement fight for Charles Oliveira. There are a few things that leads me to believe that this is his retirement fight. One, it's a quick turnaround, and that doesn't make sense unless you look at it where it's going to be. Oliveira versus Fiziev. Where is this taking place? What's that? Rio de Janeiro? Brazil? The last time we saw Oliveira in Rio, I believe was 2020. Fuck, who the fuck was he fighting? I can't remember. But it was 2020 last time we saw him there. And this time, he's going to be headlining. Oliveira's always wanted to headline in Rio. And I question, why do they give Fiziev this chance? Like, this is a huge opportunity. Are we going to see Fiziev in the top 5 in the big 2025? Is this actually going to happen? Because Fiziev's coming off a win against Bahamundes. And to be honest, I just felt like that was a bad performance from Bahamundes. There was so much he could have done, and then Fiziev kind of just did more. Like, Fiziev just did more to win. And am I crazy in thinking this? Like, this is a retirement fight? Like, why else would he fight the number 10 guy, coming off of one win, not even a spectacular win, a win against somebody who I believe was in the top, was number 15 or unranked at the time. I don't know if that deserves a number 5 contender. Like, I don't think that deserves top 5. We have this matchup, and there's so many things that, to me, it's screaming retirement fight. It's at, what is it? What's the date? It's October 11th. His birthday is October 17th. We're going to see Charles Oliveira. He's practically 36 years old. He's coming off of, I believe he's 3-3 in his last 6, and 2 of those losses are title fights. He's winning, losing, kind of having a bit of an up and down trajectory at the top. And I think he knows this is his last chance to headline. Last chance to headline in Brazil before before he hangs it up. I think this might be him hanging it up. Fighting Fiziev in Brazil, he's going to be 36 pretty much. I just feel like he's hanging it up. This is him exiting the sport. So if he wins, that really doesn't do much for him. I get, okay, cool, you're still in the top 5. The division doesn't move at all because Fiziev isn't even in like title contention, or he's more than a few fights away from the title. Fiziev isn't coming off a huge win. So him fighting Oliveira doesn't make sense. And Oliveira fighting Fiziev doesn't make sense either. Why can't Oliveira fight Hooker? Why can't he fight Paddy? Or why can't he wait? Because Max Holloway, another guy we got to talk about, Max is injured. His hand's fucked up. The conversations for the next title contender, he's out for the rest of the year. And we are going to see Ilia Topuria defend this year. That's just going to happen. Max is going to have to sit out and watch the rest of the division play out. Now, the way to go would have been Max and Charles Oliveira. And it doesn't make sense why they didn't match them up. And it doesn't, look, it's perfect. It makes perfect sense. You just got brutally knocked out. Give yourself some time. Yeah, you're going to be coming back at 36, but Oliveira has a path to victory against Max Holloway. Max has a really good takedown defense, and we haven't really seen him face like real big submission threats. Yeah, he fought Ortega, but I don't think at any point in that fight Ortega was anywhere near getting a submission on Max. That was a striking fight. That was a kickboxing fight. Oliveira is really good with clinching. He's really good at clinching. He's a fucking Muay Thai Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. That's his striking is Muay Thai. Because not very often we see Max shake off fucking takedowns. He's good at like stopping the double legs. He's good at fighting off the fence. But I think the clinch is where you would probably find some success against Max Holloway when it comes to the grappling exchanges. So there is a path to victory for Charles Oliveira against Max Holloway. And that's a big fight. That's a fucking huge fight. That's a BMF fight and a half, dude. Charles Oliveira is a bad motherfucker. And we want to see this fight before either of these guys ride off into the fucking sunset. After that entire fucking tangent, it brings me back. What are they thinking about this whole fucking matchup? Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway makes sense. Versus Dan Hooker makes sense. Versus Paddy Pimblett makes sense. Like, all these fights make sense, but what doesn't make sense is Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. Unless we consider what this actually is. If we consider the implications. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Headlining. Yeah, it's a fight night, and we all know Oliveira's a pay-per-view fighter. Nothing less than pay-per-view. This is a fucking star. Fighting Fiziev on a fucking fight night in Brazil. Just little over 3 months after he got knocked out. He's retiring. That is the only thing that makes sense to me. You could say, oh, he's hungry, like he wants to get back in there. If he's hungry, why is he fighting number 10? That doesn't make sense. If you're hungry, fight someone closer to the top 5. This is a winnable fight. This is a winnable fight for Charles Oliveira. He can go in there and he can. Okay, so Fiziev has good takedown defense, but the same thing, I think what Oliveira can do is he can tie him up in the clinch and he can get going in that grappling exchange. I think that's where he would find success. I think he's going to bully wrestle Fiziev. He's larger than Fiziev. Fiziev is a small lightweight. This guy needs to be fighting at 145, and he doesn't have fucking power. I don't think Oliveira's chin, I don't think he's super fucking chinny. He fought Topuria. We've seen Topuria knock out Max. I think anyone 170 and below is getting knocked out by a fucking Ilia Topuria punch. That's just what's going to happen. So we've seen a few fights where Charles Oliveira had improved his head movement. Then again, yeah, it was against Benny. But still, like, he wasn't taking that much damage. And I don't think Fiziev has that one-punch KO power. I don't think he has the power to hurt Oliveira. And another thing, I don't think he has the cardio in a 5-round fight to beat Oliveira. I think Oliveira is probably going to chin him. That's probably what's going to happen. And and if you believe in superstition, there's this thing. Everybody who's lost to fucking, not Charles, get out of here. Everyone who's lost to Ilia Topuria has won their next fight in devastating fashion too. Let's go back to Ilia beat Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell wins his next fight. He beats Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett fucking chins Bryce Mitchell. He beats Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander reclaims his fucking title against Diego Lopez. He knocks out Max Holloway. I hate to say that out loud. He knocks out Max Holloway. Max comes back and he beats Dustin Poirier. So if you believe in that superstition, Oliveira should win his next fight. Now we're back to the whole fucking, who the fuck is next for Ilia Topuria? I already said it earlier. I think it's going to be Justin Gaethje. I think his manager is going to get it done. I think we're going to see these guys fighting in December. There should be guys fighting each other before then. There's more than enough time. I did matchmakings. I even put up the fucking events that they could be on. There's more than enough time for these guys to fucking fight, recover, prepare for the next fight. But I think it's going to be Justin Gaethje. Just the way things are fucking going, I think it's going to be Justin. I think Dana's mad. And Dana's a petty motherfucker. He's going to keep this guy away from a title shot until he fights one more time. We're probably going to see Arman Saryukin versus Dan Hooker. I don't know who the fuck Paddy's going to fight. Gamrot? Is Gamrot ready to go? Let me get back to the fucking rankings. Gamrot, what the fuck are you doing? Do you have a fight scheduled? Is that coming up? You fought in May. Last time Paddy fought was in April. Fuck it. Gamrot versus Paddy. There we go. That's the fight to make. Gamrot versus Paddy. Justin versus fucking Ilia Topuria, because that's what they're probably gonna do. And Arman Saryukin's gonna get a layup fighting Dan Hooker. Or you make the more logical, okay, the better decision to make would be Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje, Ilia Topuria versus Arman Saryukin. Max, you're gonna have to sit out and like watch the vision develop. Mateusz Gamrot, you're fighting Paddy Pimblett, and then we just got to see how things shake up with Islam Makhachev up at 170. So enough of my fucking rant. I just went on a fucking tangent. Tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, leave your comments down below, and thank you for watching. Bye.